Hey everybody, it's Shanna, the director of Jump for Joel, and I'm sorry I can't make it to your VBS tonight. I'll be there on Friday, but tonight we're going to show you some more pictures and videos of our work, and we're going to talk about Gaviga Children's Hope Home, which is the orphanage that we sponsor through Jump for Joel. So have a good night, be good for Jill, and I will come and see you guys on Friday. See ya, bye. Most of the work that we do through Jump for Joel is for Gaviga Children's Hope Home, which is an orphanage outside of Nairobi, Kenya, which is their capital. And Gaviga Children's Hope Home has about 100 kids in it. And an orphanage is a place where kids who don't have parents or who maybe who do have parents but their parents can't afford to feed them or to put them in school. It's where all those kids live together. And at this particular orphanage, there are 100 kids. Most of them have been rescued from the streets. So they were formerly homeless kids, and now they live at the orphanage. And the director of Gaviga Children's Hope Home, her name is Lucy Degwa, and her husband's name is Duncan. And I had the chance to meet them the summer of 2007, and it was a great time there. This little boy in the swing, his name is Moses. He tends to get in trouble a lot. And he is riding on a swing that another volunteer has made them. So this is a few pictures of Gaviga Children's Hope Home. As you can see, it's pretty green. A lot of times when we think about Africa, we think about it being brown and dry, kind of like in Lion King. But Gaviga is really green. And on the pictures there, you can see their garden, and you can see corn, and there's an avocado tree. Also in the distance are banana trees and other things, so it's really green there, not at all like Lion King, at least not in this part of Kenya. At Gaviga Children's Hope Home, there is this little boy who lives there whose name is Joel, and here are a few pictures of him. He is now 9 years old, but when I first met him he was 7, and the pictures in this slide are all from whenever he was 7, so he looks a little older now. But Joel loves to jump rope, and he's also really good at it. And he loves to laugh and to smile and have fun, and he's extremely joyful. And so the name Jump for Joel comes from the fact that he loves to jump rope and that he's really joyful and a lot of fun. I found out during my first visit, my second week there, that Joel has an illness called HIV. It's really sad. So I would ask that you would pray for Joel and that he would feel better and that he would continue to feel good. Can you guys pray for him for me? Thanks. Now, with Jump for Joel, we do lots of very interesting projects. And the first project that we ever did was to help them build a toilet. Actually, it's an outhouse. My first trip to Kenya, back whenever Jump for Joel hadn't even been started yet, I had just visited this orphanage, and I was really saddened by the fact that they only had one outhouse, and it was almost full. And they had dug a hole, and you can see in the right picture, they had dug a hole for a new outhouse, but they didn't have the money to finish it. So there's just this big hole in the ground. So whenever we started Jump for Joel, our first goal was to get them a new toilet to finish this outhouse. And so that was our very first project, because it's not fair that there was only one toilet for almost 100 kids. It's really gross. So here's a quick video of what the new outhouse looks like. There are 2 holes.
Okay, so we're looking around at all of the projects that Jump for Joel has helped to do. This that we're looking at now is the cho, or the outhouse, and as you can see there's 2 different ones, and this will help them because the only one that they had was just one, and it got filled up pretty quickly, so hopefully they can use this for a long time.
Have you used the cho, Christy?
No. I almost did, and then I was like, I can wait.
Mike just did.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We've also done other projects at Gaviga, like helping them get more beds. All the kids have to share a bed at Gaviga, and sometimes they were sharing 4 or 5 people to a bed. So we help them get bunk beds so that there are less people who share. And on this coming trip here in 2009, we're hoping to build on a few extra rooms so that there can be even more space and even more beds. So that's another project that we do, is beds. We've also done things like we pay for all the workers who work there. We pay all their salaries. We make sure all the kids are in school, so we pay for their school fees and that they have uniforms, and we helped build an entrance gate and a bunch of other different projects. One of them has to do with food. And in these pictures is their kitchen, what their kitchen looked like the first summer that I was there. And you can see that they cook over an open fire. That's all that they have is just big pot over these logs. And while this worked, it's really not very efficient, and it's really expensive to buy that many logs all the time. And so Lucy, the director of the orphanage, said that she would really, really like this big metal cooker. It would be so much easier and cheaper if they had that route, because they don't take big logs, they just take little bitty pieces of wood. And so she had been dreaming about this cooker for years and years. And so for Christmas one year, we decided, Christmas of '07, we stepped in and we decided to help them. Thanks in part to some churches in Springfield and some individuals up here, as well as in St. Elmo. So here's a video of the cooker.
Okay, and here we have a cooker.
He's cooking.
We tried to get this done by Christmas time. We thought it was going to be a big deal and a big stretch, but God is good and He did it by Christmas time, so that was awesome. And before they had the cooker, they just had this little fireplace to cook all the food for almost 100 kids. So that was probably very, very difficult.
I think it has been.
Yeah.
We do through Jump for Joel is a feeding program in one of the slums in Nairobi. Now, a slum is a place where a bunch of people live in shanties or shacks, and it's really dirty and really gross, and no one should have to live in a place like that. It's really bad. A lot of the kids there don't get to eat very often. They just don't have the money to eat, and so it's important that we help them on Saturdays and give them a meal then, because otherwise they may not eat for the whole weekend. The feeding program was started by a man named Steve, who was doing youth ministry in the slums, and we had a chance to meet him last summer, and we were just really encouraged and amazed at his willingness and just his love for the kids in the slums. And so he wanted to continue the feeding program. He just didn't have the resources and money to do so. He was paying for it out of his own pocket with his own money. And so we decided last summer that we wanted to start helping him. And so we have been sending money over every month to help him with this feeding program that he does in the Kibera slums. We also visit Kibera slums, which is a much bigger slum where there's another ministry called Mocha Club that we support. So on this coming year's trip, not only will we help with the Kibera slum where we do the feeding program, but we're also going to visit the Kibera slum, which is one of the largest slums in Africa. So we do a lot of slum work as well as orphanage work. Another thing that we do through Jump for Joel is that we have put Penina, who was one of the girls at the orphanage at Gaviga, we have put Penina into college. Yeah. Penina is amazing, amazing woman, young lady, and she graduated top in her class in high school and wanted to go into college, just didn't have the money. And so we stepped in last year and decided to put her in college. So she just finished her freshman year at the University of Nairobi, and we just can't wait to see what she does with her life. She's great, and we are so excited to be part of her story. We also take trips to Kenya through Jump for Joel, and you guys have heard about the trips we've taken the last few years, and you know that we're leaving in just a few days for our third trip. So that's a brief overview of what we do through Jump for Joel. There will be more pictures and more stories coming up in the next few days, so come back and hear more. See ya!